Hi, and welcome to this presentation called Build an Anxiety-Resistant Life. Yes, that's what I'm doing personally anyway. And I'm going to suggest that how to accomplish that is by putting our soul in charge of our anxiety and in charge, of our life. Hi, I'm Mr. Advocate. I'm an advocate for what I call the Mother Bear type and the misunderstood creative thinker. I'm the founder of Genesis Coaching Group, as well as this channel called Rise to Your Top. So what's the problem that we have? The problem is that we don't understand the soul. We don't understand the soul. Two is that our decision making needs to include our heart and soul, and usually, doesn't, which creates problems. And the other problem is that we tend to be mind and emotional centric, which actually maximizes anxiety. So what we want to do is to move toward the heart and to the soul, and that automatically is going to reduce, anxiety. So what is the soul? Let's go over that. What is the soul? Basically, the soul is the totality of who we are, all aspects of who we are. In psychology terms, we might call it self. So the soul is everything. It's the summation of the whole deal. And the whole deal is made up of the mind, and the mind is made up of the cognitive thinking, emotions, and memory. The heart, which is our character, our values, our sense, of purpose. It's made up of our body. Our body is part of the soul. So one thing to understand is the soul is both physical and non-physical, spiritual, if you like, at the same time. It's made up of our natural design. And that's another area, actually, people don't have a full grasp of, our natural design. Our soul includes our energies. Our energies may include our intellectual energy, our relational energy, our physical energy, and our physical energy. And speaking of energies, I'm in hour, I think, 84 of my prolonged, water fast. And so that's where I am right now. And what's interesting is a fast actually can decrease stress and anxiety. It's hard to explain, but you go into a different zone. It's I don't want to use the word relax, but I'll use that. It was more than relax. It's a different zone where the mind isn't, taking over everything. It's a calming, state. So fasting is a very interesting way of how to build a anxiety-resistant life. And I'm going to use another video to explain fasting from a mindset perspective rather than a physiological perspective. So again, there you have it. The soul is the fullness of who we are, and especially our misunderstood creative thinker, they tend to be cognitive and emotional oriented. So negative thinking, emotions is really runs their lives, and therefore they can go into these anxieties, the depressions, the panic attacks, etc. Quite easily, more than other people. So again, we need to think about how we can move into more of our heart and soul so that we aren't controlled by negative thinking, which juices up that anxiety. Okay, so how do we get that done? How can we start moving toward the heart and soul? Basically, I think I'm going to give you 4 or 5 ideas on how to accomplish that. One is to experience our spiritual pathways. Each one of us has actually a pathway to our heart that gets us more connected to our hearts. 2 examples are music, which is one. Some of us, music just stirs us at the heart level. And emotions too, but at the heart level. So music can do that if that's your pathway. Or nature, can do that. If you're walking in nature along the beach and in a forest, whatever it is, there's a connectivity that happens if that's your pathway into your heart. So by doing those two things, by experiencing your spiritual pathways, that's gonna help you. Another thing is serving the disenfranchised. Serving the disenfranchised can help. Just helping other people, candidly, who have great needs, that have negative things happening in life. By serving them, will touch your heart and start getting you connected there. Respecting your body. Wow, one doesn't expect to get your heart by respecting your body. But respect is an aspect of the heart. And a lot of times we don't really respect our bodies. We don't do absolutely the best for our bodies. And, nutritionally or exercise, or rest. Some of us actually abuse our bodies, and that's just not going to get us to be heart and soul, centric. It's not going to get us to a spot where we can stare down anxiety, where we can build an anxiety-resistant life. Let me suggest by respecting the body, that's going to move us, in that direction. Meditation is another way to get connected to our hearts. So why is that? Because it's not a thinking? Well, actually, meditation is an emptying of the mind. It is actually a non-thinking process, if you like. So meditation is going to help us connect to our heart by disconnecting us to all the thinking and all the emotions, that come from the mind. Natural design zone. Wow, another area people don't really have much understanding of. Well, it's not taught. But if you don't live in your natural design zone, you're automatically stressed. You do not even have to think negatively. You can be stressed if you're not in your natural design zone. So we must get into our natural design zone, and that's going to get us into a more heart and soul, centric perspective. And then there's one other thing that a lot of us don't do, is to love ourselves unconditionally. To love ourselves unconditionally. And that really means that we don't measure ourselves by some performance. Whether it's a job performance or whether it's a physical capability performance, that's our position, in life, making mistakes or not making mistakes. Unconditional love is, hey, I like me just the way I am. Not to say I don't have flaws, and not to say I shouldn't learn to improve things, but I still love myself. So to get connected to our hearts, start thinking about your spiritual pathways and experiencing them. Get into serving maybe the disenfranchised, respecting your body, doing some meditation, looking to your natural design zone, and into practicing really unconditional love. So I hope that you can apply some of these to your life so that you can start building an anxiety-resistant life. I hope this was of value to you. And just before I go, I want to invite you to join me to serving as many people as we can to stare down anxiety by watching these videos. As you know, I've committed to doing 72 videos between now and the end of the year to help as many people as possible. So think of who might be in a state of anxiety, stress, experiencing panic attacks or in depression, have PTSD, and invite them to watch these videos, and maybe you would even discuss the video with them, to help them, move forward. Anyway, also consider subscribing, to the channel and joining the team. Thanks for listening, and as always, have a great day. And again, look forward to our next time together. Bye for now.